Hi, this is Denise Matthew, and welcome to another part of HT 101, How to Read Your Human Design Chart. I just wanted to let you know that if you wanted to slow down the speed of my voice, it's an easy thing to do. Just do it on the playback speed as I'm showing here, and it will be an experience tailor-made for you. So we've come to the part where we've done pretty much everything, but I'm going to add one more thing, and it's a bonus that I'm adding just to give you even more of a dimension on each different gate, and because we didn't talk about the lines that each gate is in. And so you have the planet that they're in, you also have the gate, and then you're going to have the line they're in. So let's talk about that. If you look at a human design book that's written by Ra Uru, every single gate has a line in, so there's an interpretation of every single gate and every single line. So not everybody has that book, and you may not even like the interpretation, but there's sort of a general theme on each line, and it kind of is close to the profile, but also a little bit different. So let's go through the lines. So the first line, as it is in a profile, is all about investigating the data. So if we have a gate that's in the first line, this gate is about, it's a new energy. So you're learning about this gate, you're investigating this gate, you're investigating the energy of this gate. It's the first part of a journey to the sixth line. So it is about data collection, it is about finding out what this whole gate is about, and that kind of thing. When we get to the second line, we've already investigated the energy of that particular gate. Now we're going to come together with what we've learned, and we're going to go away and figure out what exactly this energy means, how it works for us, what are the high energy parts of it, what are the low sides of the particular gate. So we're really getting into this whole energy of that second line. But we all also have to remember that the second line represents talent. So a gate in a second line can mean a place where you have a natural talent. So that's something to think about as well. And just like the third line in a profile, once you have the information, you've investigated it, you've come together with the information, you've sort of looked at what exactly is there, you've had some time to really get with that information. Now you want to go out into the world and you want to experiment. So when we talk about the third line of a gate, we're experimenting with the energy of the gate. What's the high side of this gate? And if I have the high side of this gate, if I express the high side of this gate, what do I get in return? How does it show up in the world? If I express the low side, how does it show up in the world? So that's the kind of energy that you're out there finding out the information even more on an experimental basis. And now you're outside of that, sort of just on your own with the energy, with the information. And now you're getting out there and really figuring out what exactly this gate is all about. Now you've found out the information about the gate. You've come together with the energy of the gate. You've figured out how it works out in the world because you've been experimenting with it. Now you sort of have some data, some information, and it's not just data that you learn from a book, it's data that you learn from experience. And now you're saying, okay, I know how this energy works. Let me build a foundation with this energy. So now you're building a foundation and you're making this gate part of who you are. And maybe you have more of a fixed expression with this gate because now we've got into a fourth line, which was more of a fixed energy or a fixed way of expressing energy. At this point, you've collected the data, you've come together with the data, you've sort of made sense of the data, you went out into the world, you experimented, you found some information based on your experiences, and you've built a foundation, sort of a fixed energy, a fixed idea of exactly how this energy looks, how the energy of this gate looks. And now you're going out into the world and you're sharing what you learned, because that would be the fifth line. And we always say that anything in the fifth line is sort of the highest expression of the energy of that gate, because at that point you've done all the work ahead of time, and now you're out there sharing, or you're teaching or universalizing the energy, breaking up concepts so that more people can understand the concepts that you've actually learned with all the things that you've done to get up to this stage. So if the fifth line is the highest expression of any gate, because you've done the research, you've done the collecting of data, you've investigated it, you've come together with the information, you've experienced it and experimented with it and got some hard data about how it works. You've built a foundation of what you believe is true to be true about the energy of this gate. You've come to the point where you're actually feeling pretty good about going out into the world and sharing the concepts and ideas and universalizing the energy of this gate. There's really not much more to do. So the sixth line is just like any other sixth line. It comes in 3 stages. So the first stage is the first stage of any sixth line, and that's going to be the 0 to 28 to 30, and that's going, or 28 to 29, up until your Saturn return, the experimental part. So we're going back to that third line energy. Then after that, we have this integration stage where we're taking all the information and figuring out what worked, what didn't work. We're absorbing all the energy, the information, and that's where you would be before you went on to the fourth line if we were doing this per the lines. Then we get to the sixth line part of it. It is just like any other expression, and that is the role model. And that would be after the Chiron return, or the 50 to 51 years of age. This is where you have learned all the information, you figured it all out, and now you just walk out into the world and you're an expression of that energy of that gate. But you are an expression of the energy of that gate in a way that you don't even really realize that you're an expression of that energy. You're basically just out there living yourself, being who you are, and that is just part of who you are, this gate. So it becomes almost like you have an arm, and you know you have an arm, but you're not always aware of the arm. Your arm does things. You grab something with your you move your arm so you can grab something, or you lift it up to do whatever you want to do, but you're not consciously saying, I have an arm, it's part of my body, and that type of thing, unless you're actually actively trying to do that. That's what it's all about when it comes to becoming the sixth line of any energy. That energy can be where you're just so, it's just such a part of who you are that you've almost forgotten that it's even a part of you, because it's so melded with who you are that you can't literally pull it out and go, oh, well, this is who I am, and this is what I like to do. You can do that more with the other lines, because you can probably be more aware of it. But when you get to the sixth line, it just becomes so much a part of you that there is a difficult time knowing where you begin, where it begins, and where you end, kind of thing. And so say you had the gate 57 in the line 6, you could say that in the line 6, the gate 57, which is all about prophecy, knowing the future, psychic energy, possibly the fear of the future, but it could also be this concept that you could be quite intuitive, highly intuitive, but you don't think you're intuitive. You just have these kind of intuitions, and as far as you're concerned, that everybody has that. It's just the way it is. And so you could just say things that are intuitive, and people would say, wow, you're psychic, and you go, no, I'm not even a little bit. And so it's just this part of you that you don't even know it's part of you, but it is a part of you, and other people can see it as a part of you. And it is an inspiration to others, just by the concept that if you're living the best part of this gate, then you're being an inspiration just by being exactly who you are. And the other thing that we just want to, I think I've mentioned this before, but I just want to say it one more time because it's important, is that if you have a gate in your body graph featured more than once, you're going to look at the line that would be the lowest, or the like, for instance, if you have it in the gate like gate 25, and you have it in the line 2 and the lines 4 and the line 6, you would say in the beginning you come together with the energy of the gate 25, and then you go and build a foundation, and then eventually you come out as a role model on that energy. So there's going to be a much bigger theme in your life based on the fact that you have the gate in several different lines, or you have it a few times in your body graph. Sometimes it's not always going to be different lines, but you would go from the lowest line to see how it might express in yourself, and then slowly work up to, that's where you're going to go in the end. And you'll express it in the sixth line based on if it is in the sixth line. So it's something to keep in mind, that a gate in your chart that's featured a couple times will always be a bigger theme in your life.